Hello, my friend. My name is Myron Golden. I'm the author of the international best-selling book, From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, How Anyone Can Get Rich Starting From Anywhere. I want to teach you a formula that I learned that helped me go from being a trash man making $6.25 an hour to making six figures and sometimes even multiple six figures per month. So the question that I want to ask you is, are you going to make $1 million in your lifetime? And the answer is, well, if you work for 40 years and you make $25,000 a year, then you will make $1 million in your lifetime. Most of us never think about that, which means if you make $50,000 a year, you'll make $2 million. If you make $100,000 a year, you'll make $4 million, et cetera, et cetera. But the question really isn't how much money you make, is it? The question is, there are some better questions that we can ask. Number one is, how much do you keep? That's a good question. Question number two, and this is really an important question, is how fast do you make money? And then question number three, I think would be a good question. How automated, like how much money do you have coming in automatically every month? How automatic is your money? And another question that I'll ask is this: are you still trading? Are you still trading time for money? Because if you are, you're always going to end up on the losing side of that equation. So I want to ask you a question right now. We know that you're going to make over $1 million in your lifetime if you're like the average working American, but how much will you have left over? In fact, let me ask you this question. At the rate you are saving money right now, see, we've been taught so many false beliefs about money. We've been taught that time is money, but the reality is time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. In fact, I believe that if you ran out of money, there's nobody who's watching this video right now who would say, well, I've run out of money, so if you'll give me $7 million, I'll cut my life off today. Why? Because time's more valuable than money. And all of us, if you had $7 million, $70 million, $700 million, if you knew you were going to die today, if you could take all of that money and buy 7 more years, you would do it. So time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. But if you go through life believing that time is money, you'll keep trading a whole bunch of your time for a little bit of somebody else's money. What you've got to figure out a way to do is you've got to figure out a way to literally separate your income generation from time. If you can figure out a way to separate your income generation, separate it from time, then you've got a chance at creating financial freedom for yourself and your family. So let's look at that. If you figure out a way to separate your money from your time, you've got a chance at creating financial freedom for your family. Now, let me ask you this question. At the rate you are saving money right now, how long will it take you to save up $1 million? Now, when I talk about saving money, I'm not just talking about saving money for something in the future. And I'm going to use a 0% interest rate. I'm going to say that you're saving money under the mattress, just to kind of show you that saving money by itself. By the way, most people don't even get a whole percent per year on the money that they save. So you got to stop saving money and start investing money. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But right now, what I want you to understand is, I want you to look at this question. At the rate you are saving money right now, how long will it take you to accumulate $1 million? And here's what most people say. Most people give a very ambiguous and vague answer. Here's what they say. They say, it's going to take a long time. Okay, well, a long time, what does that even mean? Right? That's not a number. So let me tell you, I'm going to show you, in fact, if you are right now, if you're saving $100 per month, it's going to take you 10,000 months to save $1 million, or 833 years. If you're saving $1,000 a month, that's $1,000 a month. It's going to take you 1,000 months, or 83.3 years to save $1 million. If you're saving $10,000 a month, which probably few of you are, but if you are saving $10,000 a month, it's only going to take you 8.3 years to save $1 million. Now, why do I show this to you? I show this to you because there must be a better way to get to $1 million. But even before we look at what that better way is, let me ask you a question. If by chance you're saving $10,000 a month and you save up $1 million, this is not a trick question, are you a millionaire? And the answer is absolutely yes. But if you spend one of those dollars, are you still a millionaire? And the answer is no. Why? Because now you're only a $999,999-aire. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you have $1 million accumulated, the objective is not to spend the money. The objective is to live off of the interest. See, if you make $1 million and you can get just 6%, that will give you, I want you to see how cool this is. If you have $1 million invested at 6% per year, that gives you $60,000 a year in income. If you take that $60,000 and you divide it by 12, that gives you $5,000 a month to live off of, and you never touch the $1 million. Now, isn't that cool? You're probably thinking, yeah, Myron, that would be cool, but I'm only saving $1,000 a month, so I'm 83 years away from having this result. You say, yeah, Myron, but I'm only saving $100 a month. I'm 833 years away from having this result. What if I could show you how to produce this result in only 2 years? That's right. I can show you how to produce this result in 2 years or even less, okay? And what I want to do is I want you to listen to a quick interview that I had with a friend of mine, and he's 23 years old, and this formula that I'm about to show you, he and his wife started applying it when he was 21 years old, and I want you to hear just a part of his story. His name's Brandon. Listen to Brandon.
Prior to initially launching, so and you don't need to have anything when you launch a program, right? But we had already been in the weight loss space, so we had quite a bit of following. So we launched day one, and we did 20,000. It was crazy. It was a moment where we went from not even being able to pay our rent. Yeah,
you did 20,000 your first. You signed up 1,000 members your first month.
So let me explain. So it was a moment going from not even being able to pay our rent to wow, this was our saving grace right here. But what we did is, the cool thing about continuity, and I think a lot of people don't really realize this, is that with continuity, if you've committed to doing something consistently and over and adding value over month, right? Because that's the only way to have real continuity, is if you're actually adding value month over month. But
right.
But the cool thing is that people will prepay for those months in advance. So if you want to sell 6 months or a year or unlimited, if you're if you want to go that route, maybe you've got an amazing 6 months worth of content that you can cycle, and so people can reuse it over and over again. You can do an unlimited plan, right? So that's kind of how we did initially. Is we just sold yearly memberships. So I would say we had about $6,000 or $7,000 worth of continuity the first month in the actual $19 a month. But the rest of that 20,000 would have been people who paid for that year up front. So people want to pay for continuity up front. A lot of people, they don't like the monthly thing. A lot of people do, but then other people just want to pay it outright. So
if they paid it outright, did you give them some kind of discount or something?
Exactly. You got it, man.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So you did 20,000 your first month. So how much were you doing after 90 days?
After 90 days, now this is where it gets interesting. After 90 days, we were probably kind of cruising at 5,000 a month.
Oh,
we had sold all of
residual.
those people that we,
Right.
exactly. So we were kind of keeping steady for the first 6 months or so. We were really just steady at that 5,000 a month as far as new, money in, because we had pre-sold a lot of that. And then it was like, okay, now that we've kind of already spoken to the people that knew who we were and followed us before we had started our business. Now it was time to, get out on the REITs and really go find customers and grow a business, for people that don't know you, which is
a totally different story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all good. So let me ask you this. Here you are now, 2 years later, 2 years and some months, not quite 2.5 years later. How much revenue is your business doing per month now? And is continuity still the only thing you sell, or do you have other stuff now?
So I just did the math on that because I wanted to know 740 members. I was bothering. I'm a numbers person. So
okay, 740
members
members after a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just had to clear the table. Yeah. So last month we did $1.1 million in revenue. Okay.
Whoa! Time out. So a year, 14 months after you're at 20,000 a month. I think you said. Did you say you did 1.1 million last year, or you said you did 1.1 million last month?
That was last month.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure
like, wait, what?
I heard you say what I thought I heard you say. Okay, go ahead. All right. Now
we're blessed, man. We're blessed.
Praise God. Hey, but here's the thing now. Here's the thing. Next time you say something like that, you got to tell me to sit down first.
You got to sit.
Myron, take a seat. All right, bruh. So, okay.
Take a seat, man. Take a seat. Yeah.
So you did last month. You did 1.1 million. So, and I know this is going to sound like an odd question. How do you go from 20,000 a month after a year to a little over a year after that? You're at $1 million a month. I'm confused.
It's a great question. That's like the golden question right there. You're a good question asker, man. So, man, how did I go from 20,000 to $1 million a month? Modeling people at every single level. Assembly. I mean, there's so many things I could tell you. I'm going to ramble off like a couple because, these maybe will start your listeners on a journey here. So, assembling
it'll start me on a journey too. If it doesn't start anybody else on a journey, it's going to start me on one.
You don't know that, man. So many different ways. Facebook advertising right now is just crushing it for us. So learning that's an amazing revenue. Modeling people are successful. Being humble and being coachable. The great thing about being 23 years old is I don't have any reservation of wisdom where I'm like, I already know that, or I'm too, I've had too much experience to listen to this person, or I've had, so I'm just like a student everywhere I go. I'm in the front row being a student. So, but I only listen to people who actually have and do what it is that I'm looking for. So there's a lot of advice given to you. You also need to know what advice not to take. I would consider Myron someone that you definitely should take advice from. And I know, a little bit about his business and what he does and how he helps people and his heart for people. And so he's someone that I would listen to. As a matter of fact, after this interview, we're going to have a phone call and he's going to help me with some things that I'm looking for help on because he's generous. And so that's one thing, modeling at every level of whatever it is that you feel like you need in your business at that moment, is just, I think that's if I could just summarize it, I think that's what it would be.
The last thing that I want to show you is this. I want to show you a 2-year plan to get to $5,000 a month in passive cash flow. If you're making $20.15, we're just going to call it $20. if you're making $20 a month, it's 2015, but I'm just going to put 20 because it's easier for the math, and you get 10 people per month, that's $200 you're making the first month, right? If you can get 10 people per month for 2 years, so 10 people per month times 24 months equals 240 people. So 2 years and 1 month later, if you can get 10, if you can refer 10 new members a month, 2 years and 1 month, 2 years and 1 month later, you'll have 240 people times $20 a month, or 250 people, because plus 1 more month, you'll be making $5,000 a month in passive cash flow. You might even be passive. You'll be making $5,000 a month in passive cash flow. You might even be able to walk away from your job. Congratulations on your yes decision to join us in the Virtual Millionaire Club.